Interpreting transition matrix. Now that we've gone from our diagram here to our matrices, we should be able to interpret transition matrices. It says use the transition matrix and its transition diagram to answer the following questions. What percentage of cars rented in Wodonga each week are predicted to be returned to a Albury? So if we look at Wodonga, there's Wodonga, and this is returned to. So that line there's returned to Albury. Where do they cross? At 0.05, but they want it as a percentage. Remember, this is a decimal in the diagram, so all we have to do is just times that by 100, so we get 5%. We can also see it from Wodonga to Albury is that line there, which is our 5%. Part B, going from Wodonga to Benalla. Okay, Wodonga to B, Benalla is that one there, so times that by 100, 15%. We can see it here, Wodonga to Benalla, 15%. And the last one is from Wodonga to Wodonga. Wodonga to itself, 80%. 0.8 is 80%. There it is there. Okay, 80%. So it's very easy. We just, as long as we understand what we're doing. Part B says 200 cars were rented in Albury this week. How many of these cars do we expect to be returned to Albury? So Albury to Albury, 70%, or 0.7. And of course, there's 200 cars, but some of them went, 70% of them only go to Albury. So when we do this, and I can do it theory way, I can do it by calculator now, 0.7 times 200, you're going to get 140. So this is 140 cars. Okay, the other one, from Albury to Benalla. Albury to Benalla is the 0.2, so 0.2 times, still 200 cars, and we end up getting 40 cars. Now there's two ways to do the last one from Albury to Benalla. I can use the 0.1, 0.1 times the 200 cars, or I can just say, well, here's 140, here's 40, that's 180. I have 20 cars that still need to be made up because I need to have 200 cars. So 20 cars is the last part. Part C, what percentage of cars rented in Benalla each week are not expected to be returned to Benalla? So we rent them in Benalla, but we don't want them to go to Benalla, we want them to go everywhere else. So Benalla can go to Albury, or they can go to Wodonga, but not back to Benalla. So altogether I have 0.11. So 0 plus 0.12, which gives us 0.13. So that means if I times that by 100, I get 13%. So what percentage of cars rented in Benalla each week are not expected to return to Benalla? 13%. Part D, 160 cars were rented in Albury this week. There's 160. How many of these cars are expected to be returned to either Benalla or Wodonga? So Albury have to be returned to Benalla or Wodonga. So altogether, that means I've got 30% of cars. So 0.3, that's this question here. But they want how many of the 160? Which means when I work that out, 0.3 times 160, 48 cars. And I haven't got room, but I will be saying expected to return to either Benalla or Wodonga.